Welcome to the Echo Tips podcast.
Eureka!
Here's a sneak peek into what we're going to cover in this week's episode of the Echo Tips podcast.
Also works with Amazon's Ring cameras to answer questions about what happened in the house. The example they demonstrated here kind of made me laugh. They had the Ring, they asked the assistant to use the Ring camera video to tell if anyone took the dog out yesterday, which I have to say, you might know anyway if no one had taken the dog out.
Well, hello, and welcome to the Echo Tips podcast. It's good to have you all with us this week, and this is kind of an exciting time of year. As you might have heard the previous episode, we were dealing with the Amazon event that recently took place about a new AI-infused, smarter A-Lady coming here in the near future in a limited rollout to specific devices. But for some of you who may have not been able to hear that event, and there's been additional kind of refinements and news come out since then, we're going to kind of go back and kind of revisit some of that, and just in case you had missed the previous episode. And but anywho, before we delve into that in any sort of depth, I'd like to introduce myself for the new listeners. Welcome, you new listeners, to the Echo Tips podcast. I am the host, David Ward. I'm an assistive technology instructor and IT trainer, and you'll find that our show is a weekly show. That's 52 episodes a year, now in its 7th season, and we cover all things related to our Amazon Echoes and A-Lady devices, from new hardware to skills to these AI innovations and different services that are being connected with this, just a wide variety of things. And I would encourage you to check out our back catalog, especially if there's a particular problem you're trying to solve. We have a huge back catalog with those 7 seasons of episodes. So there's a lot of stuff there. Home automation, things for parents, kids, seniors, caregivers, all sorts of different situations. So by all means, check out our back catalog. But before we get into our content in any sort of depth, we're going to go to a brief message about our show, and then, as always, we will be right back. Peekaboo! It's me again. You probably weren't expecting my voice, and often we have different people reading our little sponsorship reads here, different things about our show in the past. And we are certainly appreciative to the nonprofits that made it possible for us to exist in the first place, and different grants and things we received over the years. Of course, right at the moment, we currently don't have any funding or underwriting, and maybe we'll reach out to you in the community about ideas about sponsorship in the future, and you're always welcome to reach out to us about that. But I still wanted to have some sort of segment or call to action here for y'all, and there's a lot of good nonprofits out in our community doing good work. And so if you have a nonprofit in your area that could use a few dollars or maybe some volunteer service, give them a call and maybe send them a few dollars their way. If nobody comes to mind, I will mention one that I often donate to, usually at least annually, if not several times a year, and that is Wikimedia, the owners and operators of Wikipedia, the online encyclopedia. So it's a beautiful free resource that's ad-free. I don't know if you ever noticed that about Wikipedia. You can go over there and you're not deluged with people trying to sell you shoes and tools and coats and God knows what else. There's no advertising. And one of the ways that's made possible is not only because of their volunteers that help feed data and correct data on the website to make sure it's accurate and ready for you to delve into a topic, but also because they are a nonprofit, the Wikimedia Foundation. So if you'd like to send them a few dollars, by all means, go to donate.wikimedia.org. But now we'll get right back to the show. Well, hello again, and welcome back to the show. In case you had missed it in recent news and events, and we did do a recent episode about this, there was an Amazon event on February the 26th dealing with devices and services. Well, I'm trying to think exactly what the phrase was. The irony is there was no devices really announced in the event. We were all expecting new A-Lady devices and potentially, obviously, the new AI-infused A-Lady of the future. And we did get that announced. It's now called the A-Lady Plus, and some of the pricing and different things like that. So if you hadn't been able to get a really nice rundown about that, and my show was a little longer than my usual shows last week, this is a great rundown from the DT&S crew at Daily Tech News Show, a podcasting network run by Tom Merritt. And he did an excellent breakdown on episode 4964 in his new DT&S briefing episodes, which are different from the regular DT&S live episodes and also different from the DT&S headline episodes. So it could be a little confusing, but we'll have a link to his show in the show notes along with appropriate attribution, and we really appreciate the ability to cut up little segments like that from the DT&S pantheon of shows to at times share with our listeners. So we'll go to a brief synopsis from that DT&S episode, a briefing about our A-Lady announcement. We'll go to that now.
Amazon announced Alexa Plus. I'm trying not to set off your device. It is a more capable version of its voice assistant, available for $20 a month, or, hold on, free if you already have Amazon Prime. So they're doing that free with Prime thing, at least for now. There will also be a website at alexa.com where you can do more long form work. There's some demonstrations they did where you could upload stuff that might be capable of handling a little better, but there will also be a new app. But also, there will be a new app. So if you want to get Plus, you're probably going to have to keep an eye out for that. It will work on most recent Amazon devices, so probably not the first gen. They didn't detail exactly which ones. And it's going to roll out in waves over the coming months, starting in March. If you're an owner of an Echo Show, that's the one with the display, model 8, 10, 15, and 21, you will be in the first wave of people to get it. And of course, Amazon helpfully noted that you could buy one of those devices if you don't have one and jump the line. Plus runs on AWS's Bedrock platform. That is a platform that lets any organization pay to experiment with multiple large language models. That includes Amazon's own Nova model, but also Anthropic, which Amazon is an investor in. And there are other models on there. So we don't know exactly which ones they're using for the new voice assistant, but they're using more than one. Amazon says it will choose the best model for any given task. When you talk to your voice assistant, you don't have to know which model it's going to choose, but it's going to know, like, oh, this is the best for that. This is the best for that. Data partners include Time, the Associated Press, Washington Post, owned by Jeff Bezos, Reuters, and Politico, amongst others. So it's going to be pulling information from licensed partners that it's paying. It also integrates with multiple services. So yeah, obviously you can get your groceries delivered from Amazon Fresh through here, but also Uber Eats. They are partnering with Sonos, Wise, Zoom, Xbox, Plex, Dyson, Bose, Grubhub, Levoit, Ticketmaster, and of course, Amazon and Amazon Fresh. Once you use the wake word, you can carry on a conversation without having to repeat the wake word. That's something it can kind of do now, but it works all the time in the new version. It can also analyze images and scan documents for reference later. So if you're using it on your phone, you can take a picture. That includes handwritten notes, emails, photos, and more. Amazon demonstrated some agentic capabilities where you just tell it to do something and it goes and uses the different apps and websites it needs to make it happen. So it made dinner reservations. They had it read a student's study guide and then quiz the student to help them study. It could research a trip and create an itinerary for you. It ordered concert tickets. It can also create smart home routines. You just describe what it wants to do and it'll make the routine. It can also find music based on just kind of a vague description rather than a specific title. They showed that off. It can jump to a particular scene in a TV show or movie on Prime Video just based on your description. You're like, I want the one with the explosions and people walking away. Echo shows get new widgets on their home screen. So that'll surface things like recipes, recent apps, weather, based on your use cases. And it will adapt based on how close you are to the screen. So if you're standing across the room, it'll just show some photos that you're sharing. But when you're close, it'll give you informational content that you can read because you're close up. Also works with Amazon's Ring cameras to answer questions about what happened in the house. The example they demonstrated here kind of made me laugh. They had the Ring, they asked the assistant to use the Ring camera video to tell if anyone took the dog out yesterday, which I have to say, you might know anyway if no one had taken the dog out. But it worked, so I get it. Amazon was supposed to launch this new assistant last year, but it wasn't ready yet. And in the interim, the company replaced its devices team head, Dave Limp, with Microsoft Surface head, Panos Panay, who conducted the demonstrations today. Looks like it was worth the wait. Everything worked well. The demo shows the ability to do a lot of things in voice mode. This is very similar to what you can do on ChatGPT, where you can just change your mind halfway through a sentence, get it to do things like text the babysitter, buy concert tickets, all that kind of stuff. If it works as well as the demos, Jen, I think Amazon has the advantage of being on a lot of people's devices.
That was a pretty amazing kind of quick rundown, and we kind of maybe snipped a little bit of that out there. But you're welcome, as I mentioned, to go to show notes and check that out, or you could just simply Google DTNS B, I think, and then 4964 was the episode. Or if you look at any of his shows that day, they probably would have given a rundown similar to that one that you had heard. So I think those are all in the 4964 genre that day. But at a high level, this is something I didn't mention during last week when I did my rundown of the show. I do feel like it's a real AI play that we're seeing. At first, I was very myopic, really focused in on the hardware and our A-Lady devices. I guess that's because that's what I do. But in reality, I stepped back from it later and I thought, this is really an AI play because it's AI on your phone through a new A-Lady app. It's AI on your Echo, which is in 600 million homes, as mentioned by Panos Panay, the director of that program and devices. And then also it's going to be on a website, a new A-Lady website. So you can do longer format materials, you can upload files and PDFs, ask the AI to triage them or summarize them for you, or grab specific data out. So that's a very mature, potentially office-oriented kind of use case scenario, along with maybe having it on your phone, the ability to query different things, maybe like emails and stuff. Very, very kind of interesting. And so I think it's very possible that what we're looking at here is a McDonald's kind of move, if you will. It's making AI that Happy Meal that's super accessible and easy to people of all ages, all demographics, who have those 600 million devices in their homes. And admittedly, that's a huge gambit from people who have practically no home automation or technical skills, or maybe don't have a computer or even a smartphone, but they got an A-Lady. I had many students like that. Or all the way to the other gambit end of the thing. But the ability to meet them where they're at with AI and say, hey, could you use some help with, cooking dinner tonight and a recipe? Or, hey, could I remember that you have a gluten intolerance? Or, hey, would you like me to synopsize the weather report for today or something? It really starts to make you think. Or would you like me to spell check that letter, that classwork you got to submit at the end of the week? So, just really kind of interesting big AI play and making it very easy, like a Happy Meal. Here you go. Super, super accessible to people. All right, so now additional things have come out since then. A little commercial about the new A-Lady Plus on Amazon. So I wanted to play that little segment in for you too. Let's do that now.
Hey there.
Every once in a while, a technology comes around and it changes everything. All right, I'm pumped to introduce you to Alexa Plus. This is the next generation of Alexa. She's powered by Gen AI, smarter, conversational, personal, just get stuff done.
I've had a chance to use it for the last several weeks. It is
Really remarkable in my opinion.
Alexa, can you remember that Mary likes Greek and Indian food and is a vegetarian, but doesn't like peanut butter?
Sure, I'll remember that for Mary.
Did you see any packages delivered yesterday?
Yes, I found some events of package detections around your house yesterday.
We're now introducing Alexa.com, where you can do more of the long-form work you need to do.
You can now share just about anything with Alexa. She remembers it, summarizes it, she analyzes it, and allows you to take quick action. Today, I'm excited to announce 2 new Alexa Plus features that are purpose-built for kids.
On day 1, Alexa Plus will already work with tens of thousands of other services and devices from our partners. I just got a text from Molly. She's just arrived at JFK. Can we send her an Uber and then I'll meet her at the restaurant?
Certainly. I'll book the UberX for Molly right away.
Every customer experience that we know is going to be reinvented with generative AI.
Thank you for having us today.
Okay, all right. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, and that maybe has given you a new kind of fresh look or crash course of the new A-Lady of the future. And in particular about, maybe some of the services and what's going to be happening, the different models of AI that are being used in it, and, maybe the potential practical use cases as this thing starts to roll out over here over the next few months. So just as a refresher, we'll be rolling out on Echo Show devices of a particular category, pretty much the 21s down to the 8s. And it looks like they probably have to be pretty daggone new. They can't be the first or second gen models. And we're hoping at some point thereafter, although certain models were specifically earmarked as not going to get this AI smartness, which was I mentioned in last week's episode. You can go back and check that out for those specific models. That didn't cover the whole gambit, so there are probably very likely other Echoes, even those without screens, that will hopefully eventually get support. But definitely very interesting, that $20 price mark, but ultimately you get it for free, or it's built into the cost of Prime membership, which is roughly $15 a month. So you get a $5 savings, plus you get Prime and all the benefits with that. Well, anyway, that'll wrap up this week's show. If you'd like to find out more about me, as I said, you want to look at the back catalog, you can go to certdoctor.com, click on blog, and you can find very likely a listing of our past episodes. Also, if you have any comments or questions, we'd love to hear your feedback at Echo Tips Podcast at that same domain name, CertDoctor, that's CERT, Doctor, DOCTOR.com. Or you can look me up on the social medias. I'm usually under that handle as well, Cert Doctor on Twitter, Mastodon on Blue Sky, and, So anyway, we'd love to hear your feedback. But until next time, it's time to turn the ears of your Echo on, start practicing some of the many, many things that you've learned. I'm David Ward, and we truly do thank you for listening.